And we're back, boys. Another day of shiny hunting. Let me real quick repeat some notifications. I had someone sub on Twitch and then someone sub on YouTube in the last like minute, and I sadly don't have notifications on when I'm in my stream starting soon screen. So big thank you to Melon Wizard
Gee Willikers.
for the Twitch sub, and also shout out to Shidletsky. I don't even know how to say that for the YouTube sub. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, thank you. And then let me put on some music before we start playing the game here, real quick. Let's get some music going. I'm hype. I think today we should listen to the Heart Gold and Soul Silver soundtrack. I don't think we've listened to this before. If we have listened to this soundtrack before, it was a long time ago and I don't remember. So might as well put it on. I just realized something. I forgot. Me too, bro. I have the worst memory ever, so I relate to those two chat messages back to back. I realized something. Never mind, I forgot. Hi, how we all doing? Wonderful to see y'all. Alright, let's get into it. We left off the last live stream at 6,000 resets. So we're starting today with a even number. And I don't know about how high I want to go today. How high I want to get. Sorry. Hey, thank you for the sub, Reese. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know how many resets I want to do today. I'm torn, if you can't tell. Normally, we just do like 500. But I took a nap before the stream. I'm feeling energetic. And therefore, maybe we could do even more than that. I don't know. It really depends on how bored I get. Because ultimately, I don't want to get burnt out. You know? I don't want the game to almost grow frustrating for me. Like, I don't want to hate the game, obviously. I love this game. And I think if I did play it too much every day, back to back, just doing the same thing over and over again, which is shiny hunting, I would eventually grow some resentment towards this game. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to play the game like a healthy amount, you know? We'll see, though. I really hope we get the shiny soon. So we have an appropriate amount of time in order to grind all 4 of these games at the same time. And then do our second shiny hunt later on. I'm planning to do the second shiny hunt, like, around January. So it'd be really nice if we could find it before then, because I don't want to push that back. If we don't find the shiny by January, I gotta push that back to, like, February, and I don't want to push the stream schedule that far back. You know? I'll be so honest with you, boys. I feel like I did not check the last 4 shinies. And whenever I do that, I gotta go back in the stream and make sure I didn't miss one. Okay, we didn't miss a shiny. Thank God. I was just a little nervous, you know? Just a little nervous that I missed something. We're all good. Everything's all good. Okay. We're 2 minutes into the stream and I'm already not paying attention to what's going on. Hey, what's up, Annabelle? Annabelle? I don't know how to say that name, I'm gonna be honest. Let me know how to pronounce that. How you doing, though? Yeah, I think the biggest thing I'm trying to avoid with this game is burnout. So as long as we can continue to play it at a healthy rate, I think we'll be good. Hi. How's it going? I am doing really well. I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I'm assuming that's what you're asking. No, I'm doing well. Like I said, I took a long nap today. My wife came home from work, and she's like, I want a nap. And I looked at her, I'm like, I gotta do stuff today. Like, I gotta get stuff done. I can't take a nap. And then I felt too bad, you know? I felt bad just leaving her by herself. So I took a nap with her, and I slept for way too long. I slept for way longer than I meant to. Which meant, like, it pushed back when I was going to cook dinner tonight, which pushed back the stream tonight, because, like, my wife and I cooked these, like, shell pasta kind of noodles in a tomato, cream, and ricotta roux, and it was really good. But it took a long time to cook, which is part of the reason why the stream is starting a little late. in the evening. I don't do streams this late much anymore. I've tried to have a good sleep schedule, you know? I've been trying to go to bed at a reasonable, healthy time. Me too. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. Thank you, thank you. Oh, Spanish in the chat. I wish I knew how to read Spanish, bro. I'm so sorry. I wish. I took like 3 years of Spanish in high school, but high school was so long ago now that I just don't remember it. It's so sad. So sad to admit, honestly. Oh, shoot. I was pressing the wrong button on this DS here. That's awkward. God dang it. There's no way we can't get it today. Exactly. It's gotta happen today. I'm glad we didn't get the shiny on this DS because I accidentally named this Charmander. It's kind of hard to see. Just A. Just 5 capital A's. Would have sucked if that was our shiny. Especially because in these older games, I don't think you can change a Pokemon's nickname. After you nickname it. So, like, if you don't nickname a Pokemon, you can change the nickname, obviously. But if you've already nicknamed a Pokemon, I don't think you can nickname it again. Like, you can't change that. So that would have been the worst name for a shiny Pokemon. A is my favorite nickname to give a Pokemon. Wonderful to see you, brother Brandon. You know, I'll be honest with y'all. I was so excited and like so proud of my new stream graphics. Especially because it's like themed to old school Windows. And I love the like Windows XP, Windows Vista kind of aesthetic. And again, the chat, the new events list box. Oh no, I didn't check that Charmander. I just turned the game off. This is what happens, bro. I get too distracted talking, and then I make silly mistakes like this. We're literally 5 resets into the stream, and I'm already fucking up. This is so embarrassing. Oh no, boys. I knew I messed up immediately. My jaw just dropped. Well, let's hope that wasn't the shiny either. Well, you know, we'll never know, though, so I can't be upset. I'd rather turn the game off accidentally, like now, in this moment in the cutscene, than turn the game off when I find a shiny. Like, if there was a shiny on my screen and I turned the game off, I'd hate myself. I don't think I'd ever let that go. I would hold that against myself for forever, all of my eternity. I'd be laying on my deathbed thinking about the shiny that I accidentally deleted. But because we didn't know whether or not that was shiny, we never checked, we're just gonna pretend it wasn't. There's a name changer in Lavender Town, I believe. I don't remember where the name changer is. I'm just very confident. I could be wrong. I'm very confident you cannot change a Pokemon's nickname if you've already nicknamed it in these older games. I know in the newer games you can, but I'm pretty sure in the older games you can only change your nickname if the Pokemon is unnicknamed, or if someone else nicknamed the Pokemon. I'm pretty sure. Like if you traded with someone and they gave you a Pokemon that was just called like Butthole, then you can probably change that name because you weren't the original trainer ID attached to the Pokemon. But I think if you nickname a Pokemon and you caught it, I don't think you can change the name. I could be wrong. I feel like I remember that being the truth. I feel like that's correct. I'm assuming you're asking me what my favorite Pokemon card is? I don't know if I have a favorite Pokemon card. I have a favorite Pokemon. But I'm not really big into, like, the trading card game. Like, I own a handful of Pokemon cards from just growing up as a kid, but I never really got into it. And also, like, none of the cards I have are that crazy. I think the most expensive card I have is a holographic Zapdos from the base set. I have 2 holographics from the base set. Zapdos and What's the other one? I think it's like No, it's not Kadabra. Kadabra is a really expensive card. I would know if it's Kadabra. Kadabra's an expensive card. It might be like Abra then, or Alakazam. Well, here, I'll show y'all after I do this reset. That would probably be my favorite card, though. My favorite card is probably just the one that I have that is the rarest and thus most expensive. But I also don't really care about cards as far as, like, prices go. Like, I'm probably never gonna sell my Kadabra. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can, find a link to it. Pokemon... Oh, no, what am I typing in? I accidentally was typing that into Discord. Pokemon base set Zapdos Hollow. How expensive is this card? There's no way. Hold up. Okay, yeah, I didn't think it was that expensive, but where's the Hollow version? This is just the base card. See, this is how little I know about Pokemon cards, I'll be honest. That I don't know, like... I don't even know how to research cards and, like, find them appropriately. Can I find the Hollow? Maybe I'm just dumb. I can't figure out where this is. Okay. Well, I can't find it, and I don't want to waste y'all's time, so I'm just going to pull up this webpage. So, this is probably my favorite card because it's the rarest one I have. It's the holographic version of this card. And I can't find the holographic version right now on this website. But the non-holographic version sells for $20 ungraded. And then obviously a crazy amount for PSA 10. It sells for $700 PSA 10. Mine is definitely not a PSA 10 because I was a grubby little child who definitely didn't keep things in, like, card sleeves. But I have the holographic version of this card. Don't know what that's worth. Mine would probably be, like, a terrible grade, like a PSA 7. But yeah. That's probably my favorite Pokemon card I have because it's the only rare Pokemon card I have. And it's also from the base set, so it's kind of like extra special that way. You want to hear a heartbreaking story. A tale of pure sadness and just emotional degradation, I think is the best word. I'm trying to be fancy. I'm just depressed. No, what I'm trying to say is one of the saddest stories I can ever tell from my childhood is the day my mom gave away a ton of my Pokemon cards without asking me. Name Raider, up until Sword and Shield, you could not change the name of a traded Pokemon. Only Pokemon with the same trainer ID and ID. Oh, really? I did backwards then, I guess. Huh. Oopsies. I thought it was the other way around. That's so funny. What's your favorite Pokemon? My favorite Pokemon is Ninetales, with Absol in a very close second. I think I would like Absol more if, like, the Pokemon community didn't culturally appropriate Absol. They stole Absol. And so many people in the Pokemon community, like, attribute Absol with being, like, edgy. He's, like, the Sigma Pokemon, and I don't like that. I feel like if you tell people your favorite Pokemon is Absol, they just imagine you as, like, the most cringe person ever. It's almost, like, embarrassing to admit your favorite Pokemon is Absol. But I do love Absol. Absol was one of my favorite Pokemon growing up. And I think, yeah, in recent years, the way the Pokemon community has appropriated Absol, he's dropped down to the number 2 spot, and my favorite Pokemon is Ninetales, hands down. If you asked me, like, a decade ago, I'd probably say Absol, but it is Ninetales, 100%. Love Ninetales. And Ninetales is also one of my favorites growing up. It's not like I just switched teams, you know? It's not like I was a bandwagoner or, you know. What I'm trying to say is, I'm not disloyal. I'm a very loyal person. Ninetales is always in like my top 5. It was one of the Pokemon I had in my first ever Pokemon party. Same reason I like Absol, actually. I always picked Absol as my favorite growing up because the first ever Pokemon game I played was Pokemon Ruby. And in Pokemon Ruby, I had an Absol in my party. So it was like one of my first ever Pokemon that I ever played a Pokemon game with. In fact, pretty much every Pokemon I had in my original Pokemon Ruby party, that squad of 6 that I beat my first ever Pokemon game with, all of those have a special place in my heart. For example, Mudkip was my starter, so I had Swampert in my party. Love both Mudkip and Swampert. I had Absol, Ninetales as well. Groudon, because obviously you gotta have the legendary in your party. I had Flygon, who is a G. Flygon's amazing. Still sad there's no Mega Flygon. I was hoping they'd put Mega Flygon in Legends ZA. And then my 6th Pokemon, I believe, was Metagross? But I'm starting to doubt myself now. I think Metagross might have been the Pokemon I replaced in my party with Groudon. I can't remember. But either way, I love Metagross as well. That's the point I'm trying to get to. All 6 of the Pokemon I had in my first ever playthrough of a game, my first ever Pokemon party, those 6 are all in like my top 10 Pokemon ever. Because they just have that sentimental, nostalgic value to me. But I think of those 6 Pokemon, like I said, if you asked me 10 years ago, Absol's my favorite. If you ask me now, it's Ninetales. I think Mudkip would round out that top 3. Mudkip would be 3rd place. I love Mudkip. My favorite's Charizard. I think that's... I apologize if I'm misreading some of your messages. I just want to make sure I'm reading them correctly. Hey, Wolf, do my video, do my channel. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what that means. I'll be so honest with you, brother. Don't know what that means. Anyways. Oh, you know, I never got to finish my story that I started telling. Actually, there's 2 stories I started telling tonight, and I've interrupted both of them. I just distracted myself. So yeah, growing up, I had a ton of the base set Pokemon cards because I am kind of old. You know, I'm becoming Unk. And while there's many downsides to that, one of the upsides of being Unk is I'm old enough to have a ton of the original Pokemon cards. The base set, the rarest cards that are out there. And I had hundreds of them. A lot of them are repeats. You know, I probably had like 20 Caterpies. But I had like hundreds of base set cards. And they're asking you to edit a video for them, / joking. I mean, I don't consider myself a necessarily bad video editor, but my video edits are going to take about 3 months. I mean, we learned that the hard way with the top 10 years of live streaming video that I put out recently. It took me like 3 weeks just to edit a compilation video. Like one of the easiest edits you can do. Those videos are so easy to edit, and I still took like 3 weeks because I'm lazy and not the fastest editor. Sorry, I keep distracting myself from the story. My mom gave away a ton of my Pokemon cards when I was like a senior in high school. And like I said, I had hundreds of like cards from the base set. I had a ton of cards specifically from like the Gen 3 and Gen 4 era of Pokemon. So the, you know, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald Pokemon cards and Pokemon, I guess, I don't know, the Pokedex from that game. And I had a ton of Pokemon cards from Diamond and Pearl's era and generation. And then when I was a senior in high school, there was this kid that lived down the street from us who was big into Pokemon. And my mom asked me if I would be willing to give him some of my Pokemon cards. And I flat out told her no, especially because I knew some of those cards were rare. And then I remember there was like a day I went to school And I kept my like favorite cards. I kept my rarer cards in a little binder, you know? And the rest of the cards I didn't really care about as much. The 20 base set Caterpies I had, I just kept them in a box, loose. They didn't have card sleeves over them, they weren't in a binder, and I admit, looking back, that was probably stupid. I was not the brightest child, but I was in high school, to be fair. And I came home, and my mom had given him the box of cards without my permission. Came home from school, got off the bus, and the box of cards just missing from my bedroom. Now, thank the Lord she didn't give him the binder that had like my rarest cards and my favorite cards. That would have been heartbreaking. And also, we would have lost out on what is now the rarest card in my collection, that holographic Zapdos I was showing y'all earlier. Like, if I ever am in a pinch and I really need some cash, I could probably sell that for a couple $100. But she arguably ruined my, not just like love of Pokemon cards, but my passion for trading cards in general. Because she gave away this box of like hundreds of cards to a child who lived down the street from us that I didn't know. She probably didn't even know them either. She probably just was like friends with his mom. They had like a mom friendship because they lived on the same street. And you want to hear something even crazier about that? At the end of senior year, we moved away. We moved like over a half hour away from that town. So my mom gave this random child who lived down the street from us like 90% of my Pokemon cards, the majority of the cards I owned. She just gave them away to this kid. And then we ended up moving not even a year later. So I never saw that kid again. I never saw those cards again. And I can almost guarantee you my mom is not friends with his mom anymore. She literally gave away my cards for like parent clout. You know what I mean? Like, I know that's kind of like a term that people use as a meme. Especially like, I've seen a ton of jokes on TikTok about how like your parents spilling your deepest, darkest secrets to your family members for family clout. Like my parents telling my aunt and uncle I got beat up at school so they can get a little bit of clout at the family reunion. My parents would do that too, but my mom's version of it, I guess, was giving away my Pokemon cards to a kid down the street so she could get a little bit of clout with his parents. And so they think she was cool and nice at the expense of me, I guess? And then we fucking moved away. Not even a year later. So what did that clout do you? I'm still mad about it, if you can't tell. Like, I know for a fact my mom does not talk to that kid's parents anymore. So, ultimately, in the grand scheme of life, she gave away my Pokemon cards for nothing. I mean, you could make the devil's advocate, glass half full argument. Well, she made a little 6-year-old boy's dreams come true. I don't give a fuck, alright? I could give a fuck less about that 6-year-old boy. Alright? Like, respectfully, I don't care. Alright? He could fall down a well, and I would leave him there to rot because he stole my base set Pokemon cards. All at the expense for some parent clout. I'm still pissed about it. Yeah, so all that to say, I don't really care much about Pokemon cards anymore. Just because I don't know. I feel like it was ruined for me. I'm not willing to get hurt again. Back at it. Good luck. Thank you. I appreciate it. No, yeah, I feel like if I did start caring about Pokemon cards again, then something similar would happen, and I'd experience the same heartbreak all over again. Like if I started collecting rare Pokemon cards, that's the day my house is gonna burn down, and they're all gone. It's also like, I don't know, I don't love how the trading card community nowadays is so heavily centered around, like, money. Like, I want to collect cards because cards are cool, I don't want to collect cards because they're expensive. And then additionally, I feel like it would make me mad because it's based off money so much. I think it would make me mad that, like, if I bought a card that was expensive and then the next week it dropped in price, like, say I bought a $20 card. No, that's not a great example because usually cards that cheap don't experience such fluctuation in price. Let's use a better example. Let's say I bought a $500 card and then the next week it drops down to $400. I'm going to feel like I wasted my money. I'm going to be upset because I could have waited a week and got it for $100 cheaper. So that's another reason I don't want to buy Pokemon cards, because it almost just feels like a risky investment. And I don't want to be thinking about the money when I buy something. Like, if I'm collecting something or just purchasing something for myself, I don't want to worry about the almost like stock value of that item crashing. Bro, same here. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it's almost like too much of a financial risk. And that's not what it should be. That's not even what it should be about. It should be about collecting something because you enjoy it. That's why I, like, collect physical video games. Or I also collect hats. Because those are things that I can enjoy, and I don't have to worry about, like, this hat dropping in value and being worth nothing. Because you know what? Even if that did happen in some crazy universe, at least I still can wear the hat and have a happy life. I don't know. It still has practical value, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Oh shoot, the counter's a little behind. We're at 80 now. Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't know, man. Not trying to, like, expose my mom on this live stream, but I have just so much anger and sadness associated with the memory of Pokemon cards because she gave almost all of my cards away. I think it makes me especially angry because I explicitly told her no, and she did it anyways. Like, if I told her, yeah, you can give these cards away to this little kid that lives down the street, I'm okay with that. And then, years later, the cards jump up in price because they were all from the base set. I'd have no one to be mad at but myself. However, I did not do that. I knew that those cards were rare and probably going to be expensive one day. And that's why I told her, no, you cannot give away my Pokemon cards to this random kid. And she did it anyways, and I've always been upset about it for the rest of my life. I'll be 80 years old, probably completely riddled with dementia, my memory gone. I'll probably be blind, deaf, mute. I mean, honestly, in the future, hell, 80 years from now, they're probably going to have every senior citizen hooked up to, like, an AR system. You're going to have, like, AR goggles on, like you're in Sword Art Online. But as my decaying, old, frail body is hooked up to a VR headset, and I have just flashing colors and images going across the screen because my TikTok brain rot mind can't focus on anything for more than a millisecond, so it's literally just flashing epileptic colors. While I'm 80 years old looking at that through the VR headset, I'm still gonna be thinking about the fact that my mom gave away my Pokemon cards. That's the one thing I'm not gonna remember or forget. I said it wrong. I mixed up my words there. That's bad. No, that's the one thing I'm not gonna forget. That's funny. I'll never forgive my dad for scribbling on one of my pristine, mint condition Goosebumps books because he wanted to see if a pen worked. Yeah, that's rough. That would piss me off. Like, see, now you just got me thinking about, like, tragic moments in my childhood that have caused me trauma. So, like, I also had a very big Lego collection growing up, and I'll admit, this one I gave away. You know, the Pokemon cards I did not choose to give away, but the Legos I did agree to give them to my cousin, who was a little bit younger than me. And I regretted it almost immediately, because I gave, like, pretty much all of my Legos to my cousin, and then the next time I visited his house, he had tried to glue them together so the creations he made didn't fall apart. But his way of gluing them together, and this is not an exaggeration, this is not a joke, I know it's going to sound like a fake story. The way my cousin tried to glue the Legos together was by putting mustard between them. Not a lie. Genuine mustard. And it just ruined all the Legos. All the Legos got like sticky and moldy. And even though I chose to give those Legos away to him, I immediately regretted it because he basically destroyed them. And that made me mad, because like, why would I give you something just for you to ruin it? And he wasn't that young either. Like, it wasn't an acceptable age to be putting mustard in Legos. Though I don't think there is an acceptable age you can be putting mustard in Legos. I should clarify. But like he was in the double digits. Like, at least 10 years old, if not older. Insane. Mustard. God damn it. Yeah, it's a big yikes. As a kid, I used toothpaste on my Hot Wheels to clean them. You know, I actually can't judge, because I, one time, ruined one of my Wii games because it was a disc that had been scratched up, and I heard somewhere, like I read online, I think, that you could repair the scratches in a Wii disc with toothpaste. So I tried it, and instead it just completely ruined the disc. And that Wii game became unplayable. So I've also had a bit of a... I've had a bit of an, I don't know what you want to call it, a run-in with toothpaste. I gave away my Lego collection, but I don't regret it, to be honest. What I would do... Oh, shoot. Nicknaming Charmanders. I can't play the game and read the chat at the same time. I'm not good enough at this, bro. What I would do is lay them down by my bedroom door, so if anyone tried entering my bedroom without my permission, they'd step on them and hurt their feet. Oh my god. Bro is like a real-life Kevin McAllister. He's playing Home Alone in his bedroom, but instead of burglars trying to break in, it's just his parent trying to say goodnight, give him a kiss on the forehead, instead they get a fucking hole poked through their foot, like Jesus Christ. When you don't have a lock, you gotta be creative. I guess, dog. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things that happened in my childhood, like things that were stolen from me, or things I willingly gave away that I regret. For example, there was this kid who lived catty corner to the block I lived on, and my mom would babysit him. So we both come home from school. We went to two different schools, actually, funnily enough, even though we lived on the same street. Went to two different schools, but we'd both come home from school about the same time, and my mom would babysit him while she watched us as well. And she babysat this kid for free, I'm pretty sure. I'm like 90% sure she babysat him for free. Again, just to like kind of gain some parent clout. And so the other parents on the street thought she was like cool and nice. I'm not saying that was her only motivation. Sorry, that makes my mom sound like an evil villain. I'm only going to do something for free if it makes me look good. No, I think she actually wanted to be nice. But, my mom babysat this kid, and it didn't even last like a year. I don't even think it lasted an entire school year, because he eventually stole 2 DS games from me. And I knew it was him because literally no one else had access to those games besides me and him. We were the only two people at the house that day. And also, I watched him put it in his DS to play it. One of the two games, sorry. He specifically put the one game in his DS to play it, and I never saw him take it out. So, again, at the very least, I could prove he stole one game, but I'm pretty sure he stole two. And one of the games he stole was my copy of Nintendogs, which was especially heartbreaking for me because, like, those Nintendogs were, like, basically the closest thing I had to a real-life pet at the time. Like, they meant more to me than half of the animals we actually owned growing up. Because a lot of the animals we sorry, I can't speak, oh my god. A lot of the animals we owned growing up were, like, fish that died, or a hamster that died. We didn't have a lot of, like, animals that were mine and lived for a long, long time. Like, I had a dog that was kind of mine, but also not really. Like, I was too young for it to be mine, but the dog was the most attached to me. You know what I mean? Like, when you grow up as a kid, your family will get a pet, and, like, one person will try to, like, claim ownership of the pet, even though your parents are the ones actually paying for it, your parents are the ones actually taking care of it. That was my dog growing up. I love that dog. That dog is literally one of my emotes right now. Because he has such a special place in my heart. He was my boy. But I technically never owned an animal until I moved out. I just put the emote in the chat. And honestly, there's something about the fact that he'll live on through an emote that makes my heart warm. Makes me happy. But anyways, the point I'm trying to get to is I never really owned an animal myself. That was mine, and I took care of it majoritively until I moved out. So these Nintendogs that I had were really like the closest thing to a pet. And I cared about them so much. And when this kid stole my game of Nintendogs, my copy of Nintendogs, it ruined me. I was emotionally broken. And I told my mom about it, and she went to his mom to try and, like, get my game back. Literally the same day. His mom came home from work, he went home, and I realized my game was gone. And that night, my mom walked over to his house with me, kind of behind her, like using her as a shield almost. I was so nervous. And we knocked on the door, and his mom answered the door. She's like, "Hey, I think your son is, like, two of my son's DS games. He has two of his video games. Can we get them back?" And his mom, in, like, the most insane, almost like, I can't think of any other word than, like, guilty reaction. Just immediately started getting angry, almost yelling at my mom and saying, "My son wouldn't steal your son's video games. My son doesn't have your son's video games." Like the way you accuse someone of doing something and they react in such an aggressive, over-the-top way that you immediately know they did that shit. Like, it was so unnecessarily angry and over the top. And his mom eventually, like, slammed the door on our faces. And suffice to say, my mom never babysat him again after that. Which is also crazy, because like I said at the beginning of this story, my mom was babysitting him for free. And his mom either thought he was the most perfect angel possible, or believed he couldn't do any wrong. So much so that I guess you're right in the chat, huh, man? Yeah, the immediate aggression's a telltale sign someone's lying. So either she thought her child could never have done anything wrong, or she knew he stole the games and she didn't care. She was gonna sell those on eBay for a quick buck. Like, I don't know. To me, it's still crazy, though, to have that reaction and immediately burn a bridge with my family, specifically with my mom, who's babysitting your child for free. Because now you gotta go find a new babysitter, and it's probably not going to be one that's going to do it for free. Like, you gave that up because you either are too naive about how your child's not perfect, or you just think 2DS games are worth more than free babysitting. Either way, you're an idiot. But yeah, no, that was another story of just heartbreak and me losing something in my childhood. I had a Totodile pencil topper. Sorry. I started like choking on air when I began to read that. Here, let me clear my throat. I had a Totodile pencil topper in elementary school that I would carry around with me. Accidentally threw it in the trash during lunch. Oh, that would, yeah. Yeah. That would make me really sad. I don't lend video games out to people anymore. I've lent out 3 games to 3 different people in the past, and all 3 of them have lost it, and I never got them back. That's unforgivable to me, to treat someone else's property like that. 100%. Especially because, like, you'll never know. Maybe it's because I'm a paranoid person, and I just don't trust people very easily. But, like, my first thought would be, did they just keep it for themselves? They lost it? Yeah. No, that would make me mad. I don't think I've ever borrowed a game from someone. That's a lie. I borrowed, like, 1 game from a kid growing up, and it was Lego Star Wars, the trilogy. But I'm pretty sure I gave that back almost immediately because I beat it in like 2 days. Like, those games are really easy to beat. But similarly, I don't really let people borrow my video games ever. The only like exception I can think of are my family members. Like, I've let my sister borrow games. I'll let like my wife's brother borrow games if he wants. But that's also because I know where I can find those people. I can track them down if I need. Yeah, being immediately aggressive. Oh wait, no, I already read that chat message. That's funny. I borrowed from people, but I always return them in the same condition they were given to me. 100%. Exactly. See, and maybe I'm just, like, too naive. And maybe when I grew up, I was just too much of a little, like, goody two-shoes. Because I was definitely, like, a nerd, goody two-shoes, stereotypical kid. And I remember when I borrowed that Lego Star Wars game from the kid, my parents found out that I was borrowing it because I borrowed it, I think specifically, like, over a weekend. So he let me take it on, like, Friday as we were leaving school. And then over the weekend, my parents and I were driving to church, and our church was like an hour away. It was a long drive. So I would usually bring my DS on the drive with me and play my DS in the car. And I remember my parents seeing me play Lego Star Wars on the DS, and they knew that I did not own Lego Star Wars on the DS. And they, like, freaked out at me when they learned that I borrowed this Lego Star Wars game from someone. And they, like, had this long lecture with me about how you don't just take stuff from people, even if they give you permission, especially things that, like, are expensive, like a video game. Like, you gotta give that back right away. And I was so confused when they were lecturing me, because I'm like, what's wrong? Like, I was gonna give it back anyways. Like, I never in my lifetime would have thought about keeping it. Like, that just wasn't an option in my brain. It wasn't even a thought that existed. And again, maybe it's because I was naive or just too much of a goody two-shoes, but, like, I would have never stolen that game. Now, I understand the argument that my parents are making of, like, well, I shouldn't borrow things because I could accidentally break them or lose them. But at the same time, I was very much so, like, an organized, almost like OCD child growing up. So the odds of me breaking or losing a video game were slim to none. In fact, I've never broken any game or gaming console or really anything technologically Yeah, nothing in the like realm of technology because I take very good care of it. So again, I was so confused why my parents were freaking out that I borrowed a video game from someone, and I did give it back to him the next day. Like when I went back to school on Monday, I gave it back to him. Um, I also didn't really mind giving it back to him because I'd already beaten the game by Monday. Like I was gonna give him his video game back anyways because I beat the game. But like, I was just so confused. They were probably preparing him how others will treat your property if you lend them out. Yeah, that's true. And that is a good lesson to learn, honestly. It still resulted in me having things stolen from me anyways, but I almost never gave things away after that, which is true. I guess it was a good lesson in the long run. Actually, I realized I just lied when I said I've never broken any video game, because I have broken a video game. I broke that Wii game that I mentioned earlier. The one that I put toothpaste on the disc. That is, I think, the only video game, console, or like item of technology that I've ever broken. Was the Wii game I put toothpaste on. Yeah, that's still an embarrassing story to admit. Yeah. You know what's funny? We were talking about Pokemon cards earlier, and I told this long story about how my mom gave some of my Pokemon cards away. I also had Pokemon cards stolen from me that same year, senior year of high school. So there was this kid in my high school who bullied me throughout my entire existence in school. Like, I had some people bully me every once in a while. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. Again, I was a very, like, goody two-shoes, nerdy kid. I made myself almost like an easy target. And that's not to blame myself. Like, no one should be bullied. But I can also be self-aware as to why I was getting bullied. So there's this kid, and he was, like, very much so, like, a druggy personality. If I had to stereotype him the same way I stereotyped myself as, like, the nerd in school, I would have to stereotype him as, like, a druggie. And he fucking hated me. Like, I think part of the reason he hated me so much is because I was such a goody two-shoes. Meanwhile, he was the opposite. And we also had a lot of similar friends. So we were kind of forced to hang out with each other. And while I could tolerate him, even though I found him to be mean, abrasive, and just not pleasant to be around, he could not tolerate me. Like, when we were in the same social settings, we were, like, sitting at the same lunch table, which was rare, because he usually didn't sit with us, but because he was friends with some of my friends, he would, like, stop in. He'd, like, hang out for a couple minutes and then go back to his lunch table. Even when he was there for, like, 2 minutes, he'd sit down at our lunch table, talk for 2 minutes, and go back to his. During those 2 minutes, he'd have to say something shitty to me and, like, make fun of me. And it was very frustrating. Now, by a year, I don't know. I'll call it bad luck. That's what actually I'll call it. In a stroke of bad luck, me and this kid got put in the same class in senior year. And one day, I brought in my Pokemon cards. I don't remember why. Why did I bring in my Pokemon cards? Oh, you know why? Because I was using them as almost like templates for a drawing I was doing. Okay, this is going to sound really crazy, okay? I need y'all to stay with me. Okay? Because this story is going to sound almost fake. That's grade 12, right? The school years are different in Canada. Yeah, senior year is grade 12. You already lost me? I'm sorry. Let's restart the story. Actually, let's not just restart this story. Let's restart every story we've done this stream. Run it back. I think I can do it better. Alright. I will restart this story, though, because I want to do it in chronological order. All you need to know before I start the story over again is this kid was an asshole to me. This kid was a druggie who hated me because I was a goody two-shoes and bullied me. Now, here's the start of the story in chronological order. Just restart the stream. Yeah, fuck it. We're deleting the VOD. Run it back. So I brought in my Pokemon cards to school one day. The only day I ever brought in my Pokemon cards to school, because I wanted to use some of them as almost like an outline for a drawing. So I was going to put a piece of paper over the cards and draw on them. And you might be asking yourself, why were you going to draw Pokemon cards? Well, one of the classes I took as an elective senior year was a class called Hitler and Nazism. If you might remember from my last live stream, I told you about my entire school schedule, and I didn't mention Hitler and Nazism. The reason I forgot to mention it is because my school split the semesters into halves. So your classes the first half of the year were different from your classes the second half of the year. You had different classes each semester. So when I explained to you all my school schedule growing up in the last live stream, I just quickly described my first semester schedule. I didn't go into detail about all the different classes I took second semester because it felt unnecessary and it felt like it would have been boring. I just wanted to quickly explain all the classes I took. However, in second semester senior year, I took a class called Hitler and Nazism. Again, wild name. And it was basically a long class about like World War II, the like Nazi regime, and the downfall of it and how they were defeated. And one of the projects we worked on in Hitler and Nazism class was making propaganda posters for the Allies. And the propaganda poster I made, which I still have in a storage bin somewhere, it might actually be in one of these storage bins I'm using as a table for my wheel. This wheel sitting on top of a storage bin. I made a propaganda poster of the Pokemon supporting the Allied forces. Like, it was Pokemon characters. I think Pikachu had, like, a British army cap on. And, like, I had all these other Pokemon in there. And they were propaganda pieces for the Allied forces. And that's why I brought my Pokemon cards in, so I could trace the Pokemon. Because my drawing skills are terrible. I am so bad at drawing. So I brought my Pokemon cards into school. Literally one day. That's it. The only day of my entire schooling life, my entire career in school, I brought my cards in. And this kid that was like a druggie who bullied me saw that I had Pokemon cards in class. He saw me like drawing on top of them. And I went to like go talk with someone. Maybe I went to the bathroom. All I remember is I left my desk for like 5 minutes at most. And I came back and the cards were missing. Not all of them. He only stole like 4 or 5. But one of the cards he did steal, which to this day pisses me off and is like unforgivable, was a base set holographic Slowbro. Like, I'm pissed because that card is also worth a lot nowadays. And I knew it was him with like 99% certainty because there weren't many people in the class Hitler and Nazism. Surprise, surprise. And one of the only people in that class that would have just outright stolen from me was the kid that's been bullying me throughout my entire time in high school. Like, I don't think anyone else in that class had a reason to steal from me. Most of them were probably too autistic, and their special interest was World War II. And all they cared about, all they could focus on in that class was World War II. You know, making the best propaganda poster ever. Some of them for the Axis, which was a weird decision, but hop off, you know. If you want to make a proper propaganda poster for Italy, be my guest. Just not going to be the life choice that I make. All right, I was making a propaganda poster for the British, the good guys, you know. So yeah, Look him up, call his work, and tell him how much of a bully he is. Yeah, let's ruin his life. No, I think he's probably ruined his life on his own, from what I've heard. Um, yeah, I don't think he ever stopped doing those drugs. If anything, I think it got worse. So Karma took care of him, but nah, yeah, he stole like 4 or 5 of my good Pokemon cards, my base set cards, which pissed me off. And I think it makes me so mad too because, like I said, I purposefully never brought my Pokemon cards into school because I didn't want them to get lost or damaged. And the one time in my entire life that I took my Pokemon cards out of my house, some of them got stolen. Yeah, I don't know. Thankfully, Karma got him. I mean, I shouldn't say thankfully, you know? I don't want to prey on someone's downfall, but I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it when it's someone like him who's an asshole and sucks. He made my life miserable in school, so I'll let Karma do its thing. I'm not gonna step in the way of Karma. Who am I to stop what God intended? And if God intended you to ruin your life on your own accord, by your own hand, with a heroin needle in one and a line of coke in the other, that's what God intended. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I sound like an asshole. But also, fuck that kid. He was literally the reason for, like, the majority of my anxiety, self-deprecation, and just, I don't know, low self-esteem in high school. Speaking of karma, I actually got my own karma with that kid on the last day of senior year. Obviously, none of the teachers are going to be teaching anything. I mean, pretty much the last day of the school year was a free day for most of the kids in my school, for most grades in my school, but especially for the seniors, so much so that they actually made an event out of it, where like in one classroom, they were doing like arts and crafts to kind of make like almost like friendship bracelets so you could remember your classmates. In another classroom, they had a movie playing. In another classroom, they had like food, and you could just walk from classroom to classroom whenever you wanted. There wasn't like a period of time that you had to be in one class. There wasn't a bell that was going to ring to tell you to go move on to another class. The schedule on the last day of senior year literally didn't exist. You could just freely roam the halls. And what I did for almost the majority of the day, almost the entire day, was I hung out in the classroom that had video games set up in it. One of the teachers brought in a GameCube, a Wii U, and I think an N64. And they had it set up on different projectors on different walls in the room, which is honestly pretty cool. That teacher, like, is a G. Alright? But they had the GameCube set up with Mario Kart Double Dash. And I played Mario Kart Double Dash against this kid that bullied me, and I think I beat him in every single race except one. And we played for hours. Like I said, I spent the majority of my school day there. So I'm just playing Mario Kart Double Dash for hours on end, consistently kicking this kid's ass. And that was almost like the perfect karma for me. It was almost the perfect bookend on my relationship with this kid who was bullying me, because for my entire school career, he bullied me, and on the last day of school, the last time I ever had to interact with him, for like 3 hours straight, I'm just cooking it in Mario Kart. And that right there is the Lord at work. That is the Lord at work. So, truthfully, fuck that guy. He sucks, and I wish the worst for him. But again, I think I don't need to wish. God's already figured that out. Yeah. Like I said, I've had so many moments throughout my life where like something's either stolen from me, or Like, it's just given away. I can think of even more stories. This could be the whole stream, just telling stories of traumatic moments that happened in my childhood. Double Dash brings back memories. I have a cabin in the middle of nowhere. Spent a summer there one year. Only entertainment I had was my GameCube, and I played a lot of Double Dash. You know what's even crazier, though, about that story? I've never played Double Dash before. I never played it before that moment, and I've never played it after. The only time I have ever played Double Dash in my entire life was the last day of senior year when I was kicking this kid's ass. And I think the only reason I was able to do so is because I played like every other Mario Kart game up until that point. So there wasn't much of a learning curve with Double Dash when I had already played Mario Kart 64 like hundreds of hours. Mario Kart DS, hundreds of hours. Mario Kart 7, hundreds of hours. Like, those were my bread and butter video games growing up. And therefore, Double Dash just kind of came as like second nature. But it is crazy to think about, and it's crazy to just say out loud that I've literally only played Double Dash one day in my entire life. And it was the last day of senior year when I was just beating the shit out of this kid that bullied me. Now, I do own a GameCube. I bought one for the first time this summer. I could go out and buy Double Dash for this GameCube. I've thought about it. But the reason I haven't done so yet is because I'm kind of expecting Nintendo to add Mario Kart Double Dash to the Nintendo Switch 2 online services. I mean, they already added the GameCube to NSO. So it's almost expected that Double Dash is going to be released on it eventually. And therefore, I don't want to buy Double Dash physically yet. If I can play it on my Switch 2, probably within the next year. For free. But at the same time, I do love collecting video games. So, like, the video game collector in me kind of wants to buy Double Dash. Speaking of things that were stolen from me and traumatic moments in my childhood, I don't think I've ever talked about this on stream, which is kind of crazy. But also, I've low-key just forgotten about it. Like, almost blocked it out in a way. For a year of my childhood growing up, my parents fostered a kid. Like, they were foster parents to a kid who lived in my house. He didn't even live in my house. He lived in the same bedroom as me for a year. And I just forget about it sometimes. Like, I don't think I told my wife this story until like 3 or 4 years in our relationship. When I first told her, she looked at me like I was crazy. Like, she looked at me with disbelief in her eyes because we had been together for 4 years and she never knew that, like, I had a foster brother growing up. But it only lasted for a year. And part of the reason it was such a short time frame is because, as I said earlier in the stream, my parents were very strict growing up, which is what caused me to be like this goody two-shoes nerdy kid because I was almost forced to be. And I think that's a better life to live than like having parents who are just, you know, letting me go out and party and do whatever I want. But they were arguably too strict. Like, there were things my parents did that, looking back, I still don't understand and don't agree with. For example, the internet turned off at 8 p.m. every day. And as I got to high school, and I had more and more assignments and more difficult homework assignments, I would come home from school and only have about 4 hours of internet when I got home. Well, let's say like 5. I'd get home around like 3:30, 4 o'clock. So I'd have about 4 hours of internet. And sometimes when I had like math homework and an English essay and history assignments, I could not do all my homework in 4 hours. And there were days where the internet would shut off at 8 o'clock. And I would walk up to my parents and be like, hey, I still have a school assignment that I'm trying to do. Can I, like, get the internet turned back on so I can finish it? And they would say no. Which, again, some things my parents did, some ways my parents were strict, I understand. other ways they went about being strict make no sense to me, and that's one of them. Like, dog, I'm trying to finish my homework. You're not letting me have internet. Or there was one time that I was studying for an exam with one of my friends over Skype. Throwback to Skype. And we were studying for this exam on Skype for like 2 hours. We finally took a break, and we said that we were going to play Minecraft for like just a short period of time before we started studying again. Anyways, we took a break to play Minecraft, and my dad came in my room, saw that I was playing Minecraft and not studying, and he turned my computer off. He just walked up, pressed the power button. I didn't even know he was there at first because I had the headset on. And the next day at school, my friend was like, yo, what happened? Like, you just disconnected from the Minecraft server and your Skype, like, disconnected as well. Like, the Skype call ended. And I had to explain to them that my parents, instead of communicating with me and asking me a simple one-sentence question, hey, why are you playing Minecraft? I guess they just naturally assumed that I'd been lying about studying for the last 2 hours and was playing Minecraft the whole time, and turned the computer off. Because why would you communicate, you know? Why talk to your children? Sorry. I don't want to make my parents sound like the worst people ever, because they're not. But they were arguably too strict growing up. Like, I understand wanting your kids to be good, upstanding citizens, you know, wanting them to go down the straight and narrow. But there are some decisions they made I disagree with. Anyways, I got on this little tangent because I was explaining how strict my parents were. How many rules there were growing up. And when my parents fostered this kid for a year, he eventually asked the, like, foster system or the court system, I don't really know how it works, I was so young. He asked them if he could go to another family, because he didn't want to live with us anymore. And I don't blame him, because it was super, super strict. And the household was definitely a little stressful at times because of how strict things were and how many rules you had to follow. And then on his way out the door, like, he was granted permission to go live with another family. And the day he left our house and packed up all his stuff, he stole a bunch of my stuff too. And I was so pissed about it. Like, he specifically stole a fuck ton of our Wii games. Like, he stole almost every single Wii game we had. And I'm so pissed about it to this day, because we never got it back. I don't know why it was just a reoccurring trend of people stealing shit from me in high school. The more stories I tell in this live stream, and the more I'm realizing, like, I was getting fucking robbed every other week growing up. Also, I realize I'm recording the stream, which I technically don't need to be doing. Like, I don't need this footage for, like, an eventual YouTube video. The only footage I need is when we get the shiny, and I can just clip that on stream. We can make a clip of that. Might as well save some storage on my PC and not record this live stream. Plus, if I recorded every live stream I did, my PC storage would be getting filled up every month. Especially because I record these live streams in very high quality, higher quality than I stream them. So I have different settings for streaming and recording. I think for recording, my audio settings are doubled. I stream at 160 hertz, and I record the audio at 320 hertz. And then my bitrate is also a lot higher on the recording than it is on stream, but that's partially because, like, platforms like Twitch and YouTube, they cap how high your bitrate can be when you're just like an affiliate like I am on Twitch, or if you're just a regular streamer on YouTube. I don't even have YouTube membership yet, so my bitrate is capped at a very specific number. I think it's 4500, but I record my live streams and I have the video form of the live streams at like 9,000 bit rate, just so it looks a little better. But because I record my streams at a significantly higher quality, the file sizes are astronomical. Like a 2-hour live stream is probably 8 gigs. It's insane. When I graduated school, my parents bought me a graduation present of a trip to another city on the other side of the country. My school called on graduation day saying they were holding up a bus of students waiting for me to get there. I hated that school, so I was not going to graduation, but my dad had to tell them he's not here. They responded, will he be here soon? My dad said no, because he's in a completely different city. One of those moments I got great pleasure out of, not sure why. I mean, it makes sense though, I can't blame you. Definitely sounds like a very gratifying moment to just like go enjoy your time instead of forcing yourself to be around people that are just gonna treat you poorly. It's part of the reason why I didn't go on my senior trip. I don't even remember where my school did a senior trip, but I didn't go to it. I think it was somewhere in Europe, because my sister went over to Europe. She went to like Switzerland and Germany and stuff. I think my school, my class in school also went over to Europe, but I didn't go. One, because it was expensive, and two, because I just didn't want to be around most of those people. Like, I always say how nowadays, now that I'm almost a decade removed from high school, which is so embarrassing to admit. Ugh, makes me feel gross. Now that I'm like a decade removed from high school, I only have like 3 friends from high school still. But that was basically the same in high school. like I still, even back then when I was actively in high school, only had like single-digit friends. That single-digit number has just gone down a little bit. Down to like 3 nowadays. So, like, I didn't want to go on this senior trip and be around all these people that I didn't like, and especially some of them who treated me like shit. So I just didn't go. Similarly, my school did a senior skip day, which I know a lot of schools do. And on senior skip day, I almost said senior skip gay. I mean, hey, there's probably some shit going down on senior skip day. Who knows? But instead of participating with the entire class, I just did senior skip day on my own. So what I mean by that is, shit, I just nicknamed all of these Charmanders. No, what I mean is, on senior skip day, my entire class went out to a restaurant and then went to the beach. Instead of showing up to school, obviously. And I also skipped school, but I didn't go to that restaurant, and I didn't go to the beach. I stayed home. And I had a lot more fun. Not only because I stayed home, but also it coincidentally was the same day as my 18th birthday. So I stayed home all day. I ate donuts in the morning, played Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story pretty much all day, and then when my parents came home from work and my sisters came home from school, we all got like pizza. Like, I wasn't about to spend my 18th birthday with these people who I did not like and who did not like me, and therefore I just stayed home and played Mario and Bowser's Inside Story, which was the most fun day ever. Like, that'll go down as one of the best days of my life, because that game is amazing. Nobody told me what day was senior skip day, so I never did it. Same. Huh. That's about. I mean, if I was in your shoes, I just would have skipped a random day then. If no one's gonna tell me when senior skip day is, I'm just skipping on a random Monday. Sorry. Not showing up. No, yeah, I got very lucky. Actually, the senior skip day was my 18th birthday. Because The last thing I wanted to do on my 18th birthday was go to school. All right. How long is this playlist, by the way? I did not check if this playlist is long enough to like last the entire live stream. Yeah, we should be fine. It's 3 hours 30 minutes. These live streams usually don't take longer than 3. My 18th birthday, I worked at the park. Oh no, I'm so sorry. There were a lot of people though who would work at the park on their birthday. So much so that it became like a reoccurring joke, I would say, because I felt like once a week it was someone's birthday and they were at work. And the first thing I would always say to them is, "Why are you here? Why are you here? Go home." I don't think I worked a single birthday at the park. I usually take that day off. For example, my birthday's in May. That's over 5 months away from now. We're talking basically 6 months away from now. We're at the beginning of December. And I've already requested off at my new job for May. I already have a request off for my birthday and my wife's birthday, because we just like to spend those days with each other. I went to the monorail, almost fell out while storm closing it. And you know, that was a fear that I always had. I'm almost glad I never had to storm close the monorail, because I knew how to do it. I had it explained to me, and it made sense. Like, I could easily visualize it in my mind. You know, I was knowledgeable enough with how to storm close the monorail at Hershey Park. So much so that I'm pretty confident they would have never kissed if I was there. Sorry. I'm laughing half at my own joke, but also half because it had like the same tone of like 9/11 wouldn't have happened if I was there. But no, the monorails would have never kissed if I was there, because it makes sense. Like, I understand how it works. But thankfully I never had to do it, because it is very sketchy. Like, it's arguably one of the most sketchy things you could do as an employee there that isn't a harnessed position, like isn't required for you to wear a harness. I would say like that, the Great Bear lift, because it's the tallest lift that you can walk without a harness. And then there's a couple other things I can maybe drum up. Like the fucking coal cracker ladder. Dude, that ladder is so sketch and has so little protection around it. Like, if you fell off of that ladder in such a way, your body could easily fit through the large gaps in between metal bars on the side and just fall like 50 feet. Boy, I love the monorail at Hershey Park. I'm sure glad that the last person to storm close it did such a good job. Please DM so I know who you are. I'm surprised you don't know who each other are yet. I thought you two would have already been aware of each other in the chat. That's funny. I'm back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, there were some sketchy things they had us doing at Hershey without a harness. But no, I never work on my birthday. I try to avoid it at all costs. Where are we at, by the way? We're only at 216 resets today. I've heard you talking with them about Hershey a couple times, but I wasn't too worried about who it was. See, maybe I'm just nosy. I can't relate. My first response would have been a DM. Who are you? Who are you? VB? I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what that means, Annabelle. I'm so sorry. Oh, shoot. Oh my god. I need to focus up. I feel like these resets are taking way too long. And I keep accidentally nicknaming Charmanders. Yeah. We're definitely moving at a very slow pace. What's the old AOL message thing? Name, sex, location? Pretty sure, yeah, it was name, sex, location, and then people would use the same thing on fucking Omegle. Very weird. I kind of hate how that was commonplace back in the day. This is very, very creepy. Age, sex, location. You're right. And whenever I was on Omegle text chat, because I was far too scared to use the Omegle like voice chat feature, especially because I didn't really want to just see dicks constantly. But I would use the Omegle text chat feature, and that would always be the first thing people would type was age, sex, location. And you know, whenever they asked, I was always a 6-year-old woman living in Minnesota. Tits the size of cheese wheels, let me tell you. You could get my knockers confused with a block of cheddar. Anyways, we should maybe focus on the shiny hunt now. I need to move at a faster pace if I want to ever end this stream. Oh, you know, one thing I can discuss with y'all today that I've been meaning to bring up for a while. I've been trying to see if there's like any other places that are worth posting my video content, but I feel like social media has almost become like a monopolized space. For example, like I upload videos to YouTube, and that's pretty much it. I'm talking long form videos, by the way. And I was thinking about, I was like, is there anywhere else I could post videos? And like, there really isn't. Like, the next best option is Vimeo. And how many people use Vimeo? I don't think I know a single person in my life who has a Vimeo account. We're just having fun, it's fine. Yeah, I'm just here to have fun. This stream's all about having fun. Yeah, like, I don't think there's a single person in my life who uses Vimeo. But I was thinking about, like, alternatives to TikTok as well. Are you kissing the dog? Okay. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like being kissed. He doesn't like giving kisses, which is kind of like the whole thing about being a dog. He's not very good at being a dog. Look, you're making him mad. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've been trying to think of other places I can post videos, and there doesn't seem to be a next best option for long form content. And then for short form content, like, I've been trying to find places outside of TikTok to post short form content because I've been banned on TikTok like 4 times. TikTok does not like me very much. But I don't know like what other options there really are for like short form content specifically. Like, I know there's an app called Clapper, but I only know of that because I had to Google like what options are there other than TikTok. I had to basically look at like TikTok knockoffs. I had to Google a list of them. But I don't know. And I'm both complaining about how monopolized like social media's gotten, but at the same time, it makes sense. I understand why. Because a lot of the alternative apps suck. What is he doing? Yeah. Make sure he doesn't lick my pillow. I would like to go to bed on a dry pillow tonight. He's sniffing it, and that's making me nervous. I don't like that he's sniffing my pillow. He's gonna lick it. He's a freak. He's a freak dog. He's a freak frog. Yeah. Hey, freak.
No.
Freak. Stop licking, freak. Oh shit, I just nicknamed every Charmander. I'm getting distracted by this dog that's licking my pillow. Hi, dog. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. I've been trying to look at like other options for social medias because just there's no harm in expanding where I'm posting content. And also, you know, I've already kind of pretty committed to multi-streaming. Used to be Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube. Right now it's just Twitch and YouTube because TikTok kept banning me. But like I wouldn't mind adding another platform onto the stream either. But like none of the other options are worth my while. Like I don't know, I'm just so torn. I want to expand, but also nothing's worth it. Like I'm not streaming on Facebook. That is ass. I'm not streaming on Twitter because where do you even find a Twitter live stream? I know live streaming on Twitter exists, but I've never seen one before. Twitter has literally never recommended a live stream to me. It's never shown up on my For You page. And I don't think they even have like a menu for live streams. Like on TikTok, it's a separate feed. On Instagram, there's not a feed for it, but you'll get recommended them enough where if you find one and then start scrolling from that live stream, you'll see other live streams. Where the fuck do live streams go on Twitter? Like, it's a black hole, I'm convinced. I'm pretty sure the only way you'll ever see a live stream on Twitter is if you follow someone who streams on Twitter. And I clearly don't, because I've never, not once, in all my years using Twitter, have seen a live stream. You have to be following someone that does it, or you'll never see it. Which makes sense. I think it's terrible. It makes no sense. And therefore, it doesn't really bring me much desire to want to live stream over there if there's no discoverability. But like, I don't know, man. Yeah, what's up, Abby? Yeah, what was that? If you go into the living, I'm muted by the way. If you go into the living room, take the dog with you so he doesn't lick my pillow. He's a fucking freak, bro. He's a freak. Yeah. Someone in the chat wrote, instead of a pillow humper, he's a pillow licker, which is true. He's a freak. Yeah, I guess that is better. I will say, one of his only good traits. One of his green flags is that he's not a humper. But he's still a freak. And he's like, you know, he barks a lot. He won't lick you. You know, he won't show affection to you, which is the whole reason of having a dog. So you have like a little buddy, a little friend. But he won't show affection to you, but he'll definitely lick the fuck out of your pillow. He's just a little freak dog. Alright. We're halfway through the stream. We officially hit 2,500 resets. 2,500? Jesus Christ, 250. Imagine we did 2,500 resets in one stream. That would be crazy. I think that would cause me to be burnt out. Oh, you want to hear something fun we're going to do soon? This is going to be like a one-off live stream. I bought a new keyboard for Black Friday, and I want to build it on stream. Specifically, I bought an all wooden keyboard. Now, normally, all wooden keyboards are very, very expensive. Especially if you want to buy a keyboard that's like made out of the same block of wood. So the wood grain is like going the same direction across the entire keyboard. All of the keycaps, the base of the keyboard, all of it is made out of the same piece of wood. So it looks flush and natural. That's very expensive. To buy a keyboard like that is very, very expensive. Some of the ones I saw online that were cheaper were like $500. So I did cheap out a little bit. What I ended up doing was I bought a wooden base. Sorry, my camera was lagging there for a second. I bought a wooden base and wooden keycaps separately. They're both made out of walnut wood, but I am a little worried that even though it's both walnut, they might have a slight difference in color, but it's worth it for the amount of money I saved. In order to buy the wooden base and the wooden keycap separately, I only had to spend $200 versus like $500 for a wooden keyboard made out of the same chunk of wood. So the keyboard is shipping from California, and the keycaps are shipping from China, I believe. So once both of them get here, I want to build it on stream. I think that'd be fun. Might not be the prettiest stream ever, but then again, neither of the are these streams. Like the $14 camera ain't doing us many favors, and it's also not going to do many favors when building a literal keyboard. But that's okay. I still think it'll be fun. I'm torn about what keycaps I want to use. So, I'm very torn. Right now, the keyboard I'm using is actually one of my favorite keyboards I've ever built. It's a fully transparent keyboard. I'll show you all what I mean. Let me just unplug it for a second, actually, so I can pull it on camera. It is a fully transparent keyboard. You can see the technology inside, you can see the key switches, though coincidentally, I used fully transparent key switches, so you kind of can't see the key switches. The back is a little more boring. You can still see the technology inside, but they have like a metal plate here for weight, so you can't see all of the technology. The keyboard I'm using right now is a fully transparent keyboard. However, the problem with that is, and thankfully I have microphone settings that disable background noise and mitigate what you can hear that isn't my voice. But if I talk at the same time as I press these keys, you can kind of hear how loud it is. And the reason it's a little loud is because I use the transparent key switches, which are like thocky, harsh, almost like tactile switches. They are tactile switches. It's almost a more harsh tactile is what I meant to say. And I don't love having my keyboard sounds be picked up on stream. It's one of my biggest pet peeves when I watch other streamers. One of the first examples I can think of when I say that is Moist Critical. I think Moist Critical is a very entertaining streamer, and I love watching his videos. What I don't like, though, what I don't like about watching Moist Critical is, let me pull up an example. Moist Critical. I bet if I just type in keyboard, there'll be like a compilation video of it. Oh, there is a video of him typing.
He's a tour of the world's most expensive hotel room. Oh, I'm fucking in. I love that shit.
Oh my god. I feel like I'm fucking having ballistic missile fired at me. Holy shit. So yeah, like, love Moist Critical. One of my favorite content creators out there. But it is such a pet peeve of mine when I watch his live streams or his videos that his keyboard sounds like artillery being fired. And my keyboard is thankfully not that bad right now, but it's still loud. And the only reason I've been using it is because I love this keyboard. Like, I love that it's completely transparent. You can see through the entire keyboard. Therefore, part of me is considering putting quiet switches in this wooden keyboard so I can use it on stream and it won't be loud. But the problem with quiet switches is they usually are not as tactile, and I love a good tactile switch. In fact, when I press a key on a keyboard, I want it to feel like I'm turning a light switch on and off. I want it to feel like I'm squishing the fattest bug. Sorry. Like, I don't want soft, bitch made keys. I want there to be a noticeable bump, a hump. My humps, my humps, my lovely lady lumps. That's what I want in a keyboard. Lady lumps. So, I'm torn between getting a quieter keyboard for the stream audio or using like my favorite key switch ever is the KTT Onyx switches. I don't even have them in this keyboard right now. Again, because this keyboard's supposed to be fully transparent. But if I could pick a switch to be in any keyboard, every keyboard that I ever use for the rest of my life, it would be the KTT Onyx switches. That literally is like turning a light switch on and off. So, I don't know. I think we'll decide during that live stream. We'll test a couple keys out with silent switches. We'll test a couple keys out with the KTT Onyx switches, and we'll see what I prefer and how loud it is on stream. We'll do a little comparison. Hello again, Annabelle. Wonderful to see you. Also, I might take a short restroom break here. I want to just bang out all of these resets before it gets too late at night. But the problem is I gotta pee. So I might pause the stream here in like a minute. Probably after this reset. Quickly run to the restroom. Okay. Give me one moment then. Turn these off. Like I said, I'm just gonna run to the restroom. BRB. Give me like 5 minutes, brothers. 5 minutes, my brothers. Back. Oh my god. Alright. Give me one sec. Actually, let me keep my phone on me. I should charge my phone. I'll keep it here in case I get a text or something. Yeah, cool, cool. Alright, let's bang out the rest of these resets. I think, getting a little... not tired. It's like food coma feelings. So, I talked about this, like, shell pasta that I made at the beginning of the stream. But very few people were here at the beginning of the stream, so I'll just repeat it. My wife and I made pasta, shells specifically, with ground turkey, and then a roux that was made out of, like, heavy cream, tomato sauce, and ricotta. And it was so fucking good. The problem is, I ate so much of it. And pasta is one of those things, like, when you eat it, it sits in your stomach. It's almost got the side effect of making you want to fall asleep. Like, I don't need melatonin, I just need pasta. So, I ate way too much pasta, and now all I want to do is sleep for the next 23 hours straight. And I've had this problem before. I've known this is a problem. Like, when I lived on my own, my last apartment with some of my friends, I made pasta like every other day. And then I would go live and end the stream so early because I just wanted to sleep. Like, this is a fact I know about myself. I've known this for a long time. And yet I still make pasta weekly. Try to go live afterwards, and instead all I can think about is just wanting to sleep, bro. My nose is also really sniffly. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Grab like a napkin or a tissue or something. Okay. Anyways. How are we feeling? Did we count these shinies yet? Don't know. I don't think we did, because this is the second reset. No, we did. We did count these. I honestly don't know. I'd rather not count them than cheat and count them when I wasn't supposed to, so we won't count that reset. I'm pretty sure. We already counted them. Who knows? I couldn't tell you. Alright. Yeah, I just want to bang out some of these resets. I have my fingers crossed, let me tell you. I have so much faith we're gonna get the shiny tonight. I really hope. Maybe it's less faith and more just pure hope. Like, I'm begging. Because I just want to start playing the game, you know? I'm also excited for the next shiny hunt. I think the next shiny hunt would be pretty cool. It should be a lot easier. It should go by a lot faster. We'll see. Oh, shoot. These games haven't loaded in yet. I got them out of sync. There was a story I started talking about, like a topic of conversation I started at the beginning of the stream. And then I never went back and finished it because I got distracted. So, what I was trying to say earlier in the stream, this is like an hour ago, is I'm very happy with my new stream graphics, alright? I love my new stream graphics because they're themed to like old school Windows. And I grew up with like Windows XP and Windows Vista. So that aesthetic is nostalgic for me, and I vibe with it. which is why like my chat is now in an old Windows Paint box, and I have like a notepad, things like that, for my face cam. And I knew this wasn't necessarily an original idea for stream graphics. Like, I'd never seen anyone else use this style for their stream graphics before, but I also at the same time knew that I wasn't being super original doing that for my stream graphics. And I'm not lying when I said I'd never seen anyone use these graphics before on like Twitch or YouTube. And then, no fucking lie, like, no exaggeration, ever since I updated my stream graphics with this aesthetic, like 2 weeks ago, I've seen 2 people use the same graphics I'm using. And now I feel like, I don't know, I feel so unoriginal. But I've never seen anyone use these graphics before, and since I updated my stream with these new graphics, 2 other streamers have come up on my page. When I'm just watching live streams, I've seen them come up in my recommended. The same exact graphics. Such a bummer. It's okay though. I still like the aesthetic so much that I don't care. I think the other reason I want to do the next shiny hunt stream so badly, like, part of the reason I'm begging for us to find the shiny today and move on to the next shiny hunt is because I'm very excited for the new stream layout we're going to do with the next shiny hunt. I think it's going to look a lot better, and there won't be as much empty space off to the side here if you're watching on YouTube Shorts down at the bottom. In fact, there will be literally no empty space on this new stream setup that we're going to be rocking with. I'm just waiting till the next shiny hunt to update it. Yeah. Let me tell y'all, I could sleep for 30 hours after this stream. Which is not good, because I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. And I want to go get my hair cut. I have a doctor's appointment at 9. I want to get my hair cut after that. And then I planned to play Stardew in the middle of the day. So basically, like, right when I get home is when I want to play Stardew. As you figure, by the time I'm done with my doctor's appointment at 9 and the haircut after that, it'll probably be like 12 by the time I get home. So I'm coming home and immediately trying to stream as well. So I kind of can't sleep in. Makes me sad. All I want to do is sleep in right now. I love this song, bro. What a great Pokemon song. All right. Well, we made it up to 300. Not bad. Okay. Oh, man. So, I'll be honest with y'all. I'm getting really addicted to Warframe again. It's becoming a problem. Like, I was playing Warframe for a little bit off camera before this stream. That's another reason the stream was a little late. Like, later than I had intended, at least. Because I took a nap, cooked dinner. Sorry for the hiccups. I took a nap, cooked dinner, and I played Warframe for a little bit before this stream. It's becoming a problem, boys. Oh no, are we just getting the sound effect medley now? No. So the playlist I'm listening to is every song from Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And we just got so many sound effects, like 2-second songs, back to back to back. My odds were 6,598, so you're getting close. I'm also getting close to my guess, which was 6,969. In fact, I can't even be upset we haven't got the shiny yet, because we're gonna get the shiny at 6,969. It's meant to be, you know? Wonderful to see you today, by the way, Sam. Hope you're doing well. I feel like we haven't talked much lately, but also, like, this time of year is the busiest time of year for my job. So, I haven't been online as much, sadly. It's a bit of a bummer to admit. That's okay. Once the holiday season's over and done with, I'll be online a lot more. Been making a video all day? Ooh, what's the video about? I'm intrigued. You piqued my interest. Drawing art and MS Paint and everything. Okay. Is that the video? Or is that just another thing you're doing? Because I know you draw in MS Paint. We talked about it before. Oh, it's a cover of a song. Okay. Pop off. What song? If you don't mind me asking. God, they're hitting us with the bangers right now. We're just getting hangers in this soundtrack. I do just love the music from Heart Gold and Soul Silver, though. It just makes me so happy. Oh, man. I need to decide what I'm going to do for my stream schedule the next couple days. Tomorrow's the last day on our current schedule, and then I have to schedule the week after that, and I have no clue what I want to play, because it's heavily determined on when we find the shiny. Like, I want to keep planning out shiny hunting streams, but if I find the shiny, like, today, for example, I don't need to do a shiny hunting stream for a while. That's kind of why some of my stream schedules come out, like, the day of. There's not much of a forewarning with them, because, like, it really depends on how the shiny hunt goes and how long it takes. Oh my god. By the way, I'm almost salty with Counter-Strike, the game, right now. I discussed in a recent live stream how I pretty much perfected my Counter-Strike inventory. Like, I have the inventory I want. There's no other weapon skins that I feel like I need. There's nothing else I need to add or remove from my inventory. Like, I'm very happy with the inventory I have in Counter-Strike. And then just a couple days ago, Counter-Strike announced that they are looking for people from the community to make new stickers that you can put on the guns. And they're specifically looking for stickers that are themed to automobiles or, like, food and vegetables. Like, I'm so mad because if anyone watched that stream where I was talking about my inventory, one of the things I said was that I have a gun in that game that's themed to Rainbow Road from Mario Kart. It has 4 rainbow stickers on it, And then I've got a car sticker, and it looks like the car is driving on top of the rainbows. However, that car sticker is not very good because it has like a ton of smoke coming out of it, and it's just not as simple as I would like for a sticker of a vehicle. It doesn't really fit the Mario Kart aesthetic. It looks more like a hot rod where the engine is burning up. Which I guess could be Mario Kart. You know, when you start the race, if you don't time your mini turbo correctly at the beginning, your car will spin out. But like, I don't know. That was the one complaint I had with my Rainbow Road themed Counter-Strike skin, is the sticker of the car I used isn't perfect. The only reason I used it is because it was the only sticker in the game that has a car. And now, Counter-Strike's making all these new stickers, apparently, with cars. So, a couple days after I said I was never going to update my Counter-Strike inventory again, and I was happy with the inventory I had, I wasn't going to add anything or remove anything, now I feel immediately as though I need to change something. I mean, the stickers haven't been released yet, so we don't know what they look like. But considering the game asked for people to make stickers of automobiles and vegetables, I feel like they're probably going to release a sticker with this next update that is a better looking car than the one I have on my current Rainbow Road themed gun. And then coincidentally, the announcement of vegetable theme stickers also is a near perfect, like, almost slap in the face to me, because in that same live stream I was talking about how many of my weapon skins are themed to video games. Like, I have a Triforce themed weapon based off Legend of Zelda, obviously. I have a Final Fantasy themed weapon skin. I have a Pokemon themed weapon skin. And I said in that live stream, one of the only video games that I don't have an inspired skin for, like, one of the only video games that I wish I could make a weapon skin for in Counter-Strike is Stardew Valley. And the reason I had never made a Stardew Valley inspired weapon skin before is because there weren't like fruits, vegetables, crops, or anything farming related that you could put on a gun. None of the stickers in the game were even closely related to farming. And now the game announces that they want vegetable themed stickers, which would go perfect on a Stardew Valley inspired weapon. And you might be wondering, well, why is that a bad thing? Just, you know, go craft a weapon skin with these vegetable stickers that are coming out in the next update, and boom, now you have a Stardew Valley themed gun. The problem is, as I said earlier, I already have a weapon skin for every gun. I have like my perfect inventory. Every single gun has a weapon skin, and every weapon skin has stickers on it that I customized specifically for myself, so all of my guns look individualistic. And therefore, if I want to make a Stardew Valley themed weapon, I have to get rid of one of my current weapons, which sucks because I'm happy with every weapon I have. There isn't a single weapon I want to replace right now in my inventory. If I knew that they were going to be making vegetable-themed stickers, if I knew it was a possibility for me to make a Counter-Strike themed gun in the near future, I would not have added some of the new weapons that I have added recently. Like I bought like 5 new weapon skins in the last month, and I wouldn't have bought any of those if I knew that I could have made a Stardew Valley themed gun soon. I just feel silly now because I got to get rid of one of my weapon skins to replace it with a Stardew Valley themed skin. But that's okay. We still got time. The update hasn't come out yet, and we don't know what the vehicle stickers or vegetable stickers are going to look like. Maybe they won't be good, and I won't want to make a gun with them. but I doubt it. Especially because I love crafting different weapon skins with different stickers and making guns like special and unique to me. So we'll see. I guess there are a couple guns in my inventory that I could try to replace with a Stardew Valley themed weapon finish. Look through my inventory real quick. Pull it up on my phone here in a sec. Inventory. Yeah, for example, like the AUG. I have this AUG Storm. I could maybe replace that with the Stardew Valley themed one. We'll see. I don't know. I'm torn. Give me 1 second. My phone's glitching out. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. Where were we at? We got 2 more Charmanders to check, then we can reset. Ah, no shinies. Unlucky. But yeah, it's just it's obviously so coincidental. Like the worst timing that once I finally have a weapon for every gun in that game, they're releasing new stickers that you can put in your guns that I want. I want to buy them and I want to make skins with them and craft these stickers to look specific to certain video games. And if I want to make a new weapon craft, I gotta get rid of one of my old ones. That's okay. There are worse problems to have, I guess. And I'm not even playing a bunch of Counter-Strike anymore anyways. I've all but quit playing Counter-Strike solo. I refuse to solo queue in that game. So I only really play with friends, and the friends that I have who do play Counter-Strike don't play it very often. So like, I'm not playing Counter-Strike very often nowadays. But I'm still addicted to the game, you know? I said this yesterday. Like, you never forget your first. And even though I've quit every other competitive shooter game, I can't quit Counter-Strike. It was the first competitive shooter game I ever got into, and I don't think I can quit. I mean, I definitely can't quit because I've spent way too much money on skins for the weapons in that game. My Steam inventory off Counter-Strike weapon skins alone is hundreds of dollars. Embarrassing to admit. Very, very embarrassing to admit, but I feel like if I quit now, would have been a waste of money, you know? That's kind of how I feel about Valorant. I spent like around $120 on weapon skins in Valorant, and now I never play Valorant anymore. But also, fuck Valorant. That game is so frustrating. They've done a terrible job at making it rewarding to play like different character classes. For example, I played predominantly Brimstone and Viper, 2 characters that are far more defensive, and their gimmick is like smoking off the enemies and stopping the enemies from pushing. But because they're far more defensive players, they don't get a lot of kills. And, you know, in like other games, like Overwatch, for example, they do an okay job of balancing it. So like if you're playing a healer, you're not expected to do damage, and therefore your elo, your rank, is not based on the amount of damage you do. If it was, then no healer would ever rank up in Overwatch. And I'm glad Overwatch has a system like that. I wish Valorant had a system like that. But instead, Valorant's system of ranking up or ranking down is predominantly based off wins and kills. And therefore, when I'm playing a defensive character whose whole gimmick is smoking the enemies off, I'm not getting a lot of kills. I'm especially not getting a lot of kills in comparison to like the duelists in that game, who have abilities that are like grenades, rocket launchers, throwing knives that one-hit people. Like, obviously I'm not getting a lot of kills compared to those characters and the people who play those characters. So I'm almost getting screwed by playing a character whose gimmick is smokes. but you do need smokes in order to win the game. Like, one person at minimum needs to play smokes, so I would always play smokes. But it just, I don't know. It felt like I was screwing myself by doing that. And it definitely did not feel fun playing competitive Valorant. The community also sucks. Like, the people who play Valorant are some of the most miserable, just rude, unfun people to be around. So, while I regret spending like $120 on skins in Valorant, I don't regret quitting, you know? Because the only other option besides quitting is continuing to play the game solely because I spent money on the game. And I refuse to trap myself in the purgatory that is Valorant. But maybe it's just I don't know. I don't want to blame it on Riot, but it does feel like part of the reason the community sucks so much is because it's owned by Riot. Because the League of Legends community is the same way. League is, oh my god, it's a deplorable game community. And they're also one of Riot's little babies, you know? Riot's cash cow. So maybe it's Riot's fault. Yeah, I have pretty much quit playing every competitive shooter game, even the ones like from back in the day, like the old school ones, like PUBG. Yeah, I don't play anymore. Overwatch, I quit Overwatch when it went to Overwatch 2, because I just feel like Overwatch 2 was such a huge letdown. Everyone always talks about the PvE, but it really upset me that they didn't ever follow through with the like single player campaign, the PvE game modes in that game. Because in Overwatch 1, some of those PvE campaigns were my favorite ways to play Overwatch. It's low-key the thing I liked the most about Overwatch was the PvE. And they just got rid of it for Overwatch 2. And they also changed Overwatch 2 in so many ways that I didn't like. Mostly because they ruined my favorite character. I was a Mei main in Overwatch 1. And the whole reason I loved Mei in Overwatch 1 is because you would freeze people, and then you could get easy headshots on them while they're frozen. And then after I headshot them and killed them, one of my favorite things to do is their dead body would ragdoll on the ground, and I'd build her ice wall underneath their dead body, so when the ice wall rose from the ground, their ragdoll would go flying into the sky. And it was so fun to watch. And they took practically all of that out of Overwatch 2, because you can't freeze people anymore. You don't get those, nice headshots anymore. And it's so much harder to send someone's ragdoll flying into the sky as a result in Overwatch 2. So yeah, I pretty much quit Overwatch 1 the second it turned into Overwatch 2. That wasn't as difficult of a decision for me. It didn't hold as much emotional weight over my heart like quitting Valorant did. But I think another reason it was so difficult for me to quit Valorant, and the reason I don't know, it took so much thought and almost like deliberation to quit Valorant. The reason it took me so long to do so is because I also spent so much time playing Valorant. I played Valorant way more than I played Overwatch, and I got pretty good at Valorant, which made it difficult for me to quit because it made me feel like I was wasting all the practice I'd been putting in, all the time I'd spent learning the game. But I think I was just a less happy version of myself playing competitive shooter games. Like, when that was the genre of video games I was playing the most, I was just having so little fun. I think the only reason I still play Counter-Strike is because I'm good at it. Because I have the most hours in that game than literally any other video game. Well, Minecraft might have more, but Minecraft doesn't track your hours. It's the game I have the most hours in where the hours are tracked. And I also keep playing Counter-Strike because I have skins in the game that are worth a lot of money. So, might as well use them. But I think the only reason I still play the only reason I still play Counter-Strike and I quit games like Valorant, Overwatch, PUBG is because I'm addicted to it and I have so much time in it. But if I didn't have so much time in Counter-Strike and I didn't have expensive skins, I would easily quit. I would quit Counter-Strike before I quit playing Fortnite, because I still technically play Fortnite, but I don't play it competitively, really. I kind of just use Fortnite as a game to play with friends. It's almost like a setting to hang out with friends. It's like the video game version of going to a bar with friends, but instead of going to a bar and paying for overpriced drinks, you play a little bit of Fortnite with your buddies. You get the same level of intoxicating conversation. But yeah. I think I would quit Counter-Strike before I quit Fortnite. It would take a while for me to come to that decision, and I'd also have to sell all of the skins I have in that game right now, which I guess is the one benefit of Counter-Strike compared to Overwatch or like Valorant. In Overwatch and Valorant, the money I spent on skins in those games, I can never get that money back. I can never sell those skins. But at least in Counter-Strike, if I really wanted to quit, I could sell all my skins and make some money back. But yeah, I would probably quit Counter-Strike before Fortnite, even though I like Counter-Strike more than Fortnite. I think it's a better game. It just causes me more pain because the community is so bad. And when I play competitive, I'm usually given a team of 4 teammates that are all deaf, dumb, and blind. They're all descendants of Helen Keller. Like, it makes me so mad, bro. Ah, my counter's off by 1. Reset. It's supposed to be 84. I'm getting a little tired though. This sucks. I feel bad. I feel like I'm losing a lot of my energy, a lot of my quirkiness and randomness that make me the entertaining streamer that I am. It's okay. We can bang out these last couple resets. I believe in us. I just need to focus. We can move at a super quick pace, and the rest of the stream should fly by. It's just difficult for me to move at like peak efficiency with these resets and talk at the same time, because I'll get so distracted by like what someone said in the chat or a conversation we're having, and I'll like play the game much slower because I'm, you know, having fun talking to the chat. I think that's the downside of not being like a professional streamer and instead doing this as like a hobby. Is my ability to play game and talk to chat very bad. I suck at doing that at the same time. It's okay though. We just lock in. If I just sit up in my chair like this, it's over. It's over for these kids. These Charmanders, I should say. Let's get it. Like one of the most classic Pokemon songs right here. God, I feel it in my soul. It's these types of Pokemon songs that have me like raising my hands to the sky like a grandma in church. Like, I can feel it in my body. I can feel it through my veins. Alright, we're almost at 400 here. Last 100 usually goes by really quickly. Last 100 resets, for some reason, are usually the quickest part of the stream. I think it's because I know at this point we only have 25 resets left once we hit 400. And 25 resets, that's easy. 25 is such a small number. It's light work. We got this. We hit 400. 6,400. A whole Minecraft stack of Charmanders. Just times that by 100. 100 Minecraft stacks of Charmanders. I'm excited to play Stardew tomorrow, though. I think the Stardew challenge has been a lot of fun. Because I've never played Stardew Valley in a way other than just normal. Like, I always play that game vanilla. So finally doing a challenge playthrough of one of my favorite games of all time has actually been really entertaining for me. And it's also not a challenge that's, like, unreasonably difficult. Like I said, if we try hard, we could probably beat the challenge by year 2. But because I'm not tryharding, I'm just trying to have fun. I'm just trying to play the challenge like, for fun. We'll probably beat that challenge by year 3, which it doesn't take that long to get into year 3, Stardew Valley. Oh my god, I don't know if the microphone picked that up, but that was like the most painful hiccup I've ever had. It sounded like I was dying. It sounded like someone was stabbing me in the throat. Holy shit, that was gross. Apologies. I always get the hiccups when I'm streaming, though. I don't know if it's just like the way I'm sitting at my desk, the way I'm positioned in my chair when I'm playing games. I always get the hiccups on live. See, now we got the actual classics playing. I forgot part of the Heart Gold and Soul Silver soundtrack includes the original soundtrack from Gold and Silver. I want y'all to know, once we do get the shiny Charmander, I'm gonna be so happy to never have to talk to Gary and Professor Oak again. And I know that's technically not true. We're gonna have to talk to them like throughout the story. You know, we'll have to talk to them as we progress in the game, and especially Gary as he battles us over and over and over again. But like, I guess what I mean is I'm gonna be so happy to never have to sit through this fucking godforsaken long, it's not even that long, but long cutscene of choosing my starter with Gary and Professor Oak. Because I think that's why I get so impatient during the shiny hunt, and I only do 500 resets a stream, because I just get so annoyed with this opening cutscene of choosing your starter. Like, I just want to reset the game and immediately check if the Charmander is shiny. But I'm not allowed to immediately check if it's shiny or not, because I gotta wait through all the dialogue. And I'm not patient enough for that. I'm barely patient as it is. I'm locked in, let me tell you. These old songs are such a classic. Like, this song is bringing me almost to tears. It's like, it's almost melodic for a retro gaming song. It sounds crazy to call a game with the chip tunes that are this old and almost harsh smooth, but it's so smooth for like chiptune music, for old Game Boy Color music. Like, it's beautiful. I love it. Like this. Oh my god. I can do a little ditty to this. I realize that word sounds way too close to Diddy, like P Diddy. I meant Diddy with T's, like do a little dance, but shit, we might have to stop saying the word Diddy in 2025. P Diddy ruined it for us. I really need to watch the 50 Cent documentary on P Diddy. I heard it's so good. I wish I could hate someone as much as 50 Cent hates P Diddy. That's like a level of passion I don't know if I've ever experienced before. See, this battle music brings back so much nostalgia for me. Because growing up, I had a Japanese version of Pokemon Silver. And obviously, I don't know Japanese. So oftentimes, I would just have to make decisions based off, like, what I thought was right. And off of, like, the assumption that the A button's usually the top option. Like, accept is usually the top option. An example. If you go into the PC to get your Pokemon healed, you talk to Nurse Joy. She'll ask you, like, do you want me to heal your Pokemon? And yes would be the top option. I just knew that from playing other Pokemon games. So I knew, like, how to heal my Pokemon. I learned, like, how to use the PC center because I just memorized what menu options were, like, PC, move Pokemon. One difficult thing with playing Pokemon in Japanese was it was really difficult for me to learn which moves I should use and get rid of. So I would have to save my game intermittently, almost regularly, actually. Like, I was saving my game every 5 minutes because if one of my Pokemon learned a new move and it sucked, I would go back to my last save and then not learn that move once I leveled up again. I don't think I ever beat my Japanese version of Silver. But I got really far in the game by only using my memory and my knowledge of Pokemon and not understanding a lick of Japanese. All right. How many resets we got left? We have 17? 17 resets left. We're almost done. We're banging these out. I feel great. 16 left. How many times have we reset the game's total? Here, I'll make the math a little bit easier for myself. At the end of the stream, we'll be at 6,500. That's actually not easier. 65 isn't divisible by 4. Let's do 6,400. So at 6,400 resets, how many times does 4 go into 64? 4 goes into 64 16 times. So then we just time that by 100. So we have turned these consoles on and off again over 1,600 times. 1,600 plus times have we had to turn these 4 systems on and off again. That's crazy to say out loud. Yikes. We're putting a lot of wear and tear into these systems, let me tell you. Alright. We got 15 resets left, boys. We're coming down to the wire here. And you know, it'd be really cool if we could just end the stream on a shiny. I say it every stream, and I'm saying it again. It would be the perfect way to end a live stream by just getting a shiny. And we can go to bed happy. I don't have to worry about shiny hunting again until January, when I plan to do the next shiny hunt, which will be my boy Abra at the Game Corner. Yeah. Arcade Corner? I always forget if it's Game Corner or Arcade Corner. What did I just do? Oh, I muted my computer. That's awkward. That's so awkward. My bad. Four, 4, 4. That would have been a cool number to get the shiny. A fun number. Unlucky. I'm locked in. Let me tell you. Speaking of like smooth, melodic songs on a Game Boy Color, this song is so beautiful for its time and for the system it was released on. But then again, so are songs like Azalea Town. Azalea Town's gorgeous. Love Azalea Town. Not gonna lie, I completely zoned out there for a second. This is how you know I'm getting tired. I'm like zoning out. All I can think about is sleep right now. And that's why I want the shiny. So we can just, you know, end the stream happy, go to bed. It would definitely wake me up if we got the shiny. I don't know if I'd be able to go to sleep if we got the shiny right now. All I'd be able to think about is the next shiny hunt and how we're going to prepare for it. Oh shoot, these games are gonna be out of sync for a second. My bad. Alright, boys. Closing it out here. Less than 50 resets left. It's light work, really. Actually, 15 resets left specifically. Only 15 more times we gotta turn these on and off again. The dog is barking. I don't even know what he's barking at, bro. He just likes to bark sometimes. I don't know why he's barking. Oh, man. Tomorrow's gonna be busy, though. Like I said, I have that doctor's appointment, getting my hair cut, streaming in the middle of the day, then cooking dinner for my wife by the time she gets home from work. And then I guess we'll have a couple hours in the evening to ourselves. Maybe I'll play more Warframe. I don't know. I've been addicted to Warframe, bro. It's such a problem. An actual unhealthy obsession. And I only got back into the game like a week ago. I haven't played the game for 2 years. I played it for the first time 1 week ago, and I'm immediately addicted again. It's a good game, though. Listen. You can tell I'm not being biased, because I normally hate space games. Like, any game themed to, like, flying a ship around in space, I could care less. But I love Warframe. And that is the literal definition of a space game. Everyone jokingly calls it space game. I think I just love all the different like weapons and guns you can customize. A lot of the characters are good too. Like, I have a love for some of the characters in that game. Speaking of Azalea Town, that was Azalea Town. Love that song. The song goes hard. You know, I might have been wrong when I said 15 resets earlier. I think it was 10. I don't know why I said 15. I'm just not very good at math, boys. To be so honest with you. I am terrible at math. I mean, you saw how long it took me to figure out how many resets we've done out of 6,400. Like, how many times we had to turn the systems on and off again. Just to figure that number out. It took me a while. So, yeah, my math is a little rusty. Blame it on the fact that I've been out of school for so long. I mean, I'm not even confident I could do long division right now. Like, I'm actually very worried I would not be able to do long division. Which is so sad to admit, actually. Alright. Now, I think my math is correct here. We only have 5 resets left. I know my math was wrong earlier, but I'm pretty sure it's only 5 more resets. Oh my god. Something's wrong with me, bro. Alright. 5 resets, boys. We got this. Like I said, it'd be really, really cool to get the shiny at the end of the stream here. Last 5 resets. Now's the time to get it. If we're not going to get the shiny at like the beginning of the stream right away, the next best time to get the shiny is right at the end. These last 5 resets are crucial. Okay. We got 4 more chances. It's all good. Come on now. Give me something here. Oh, that hurts my heart. 3 more resets. You know, I've been thinking about it. I don't think we're going to use the clicker for the next shiny hunt. Because, well, the clicker's a lot of fun. And it's almost like become a fidget for me in this shiny hunt. The next shiny hunt's going to be Abra at the arcade corner, like I said. And we're going to be able to get like 50 Abra at a time. 50. Probably more than 50 Abra every reset. And therefore, I'm not clicking this clicker like over 50 times every reset. Half of the stream would just be me clicking. It's insane. We'll obviously keep the number on the stream. You know, I'll have the number on screen so we can follow and keep track just how many resets we've done. But the clicker might be put back away on a shelf instead of me clicking like thousands of times every stream. See, it's not bad right now because I only have to click 4 times every reset. But if I had to click over 50 times every reset, that's insane. It's really insane. Alright, these are the last 2 resets now. So it'd be really, really cool if we could get a shiny to end the stream. Just asking for a friend, and that friend is me. Because I'm a friend to everyone. Well, anyone that's good. You know, I'm not a friend to Hitler. But that would have been a terrible time to get the shiny. Having that in the clip would have been so bad. I mean, I guess it wouldn't have been that bad. Just embarrassing. It's not bad to say that I hate Hitler. I don't think that's bad. Just the way I said it is a little cringe. I'm not a friend to Hitler, by the way. Alright? I stand on business, let me tell you. That's some of the business that I stand on. It'd be really, really funny now if I got shiny on this reset. Because the clip would just start with that, out of context. Come on now. Give me a shiny. This is actually the last reset of the stream. So, like, if we could get a shiny on the last reset, this would be huge. A momentous moment. Heartbreaking. Instead, it's heartbreaking. 6,500 resets is what we're up to after this stream. We're getting closer and closer to maximum odds. The odds for getting a shiny are 1 in 8,100. 92. And we're getting closer and closer to that number. I fear we're going to pass it because we have such bad luck. But that's okay. Anyways, I'm gonna head out. Thank y'all for watching. I really, really appreciate y'all. Hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening. And I'll see you tomorrow with some Stardew Valley. Thank you, brother. Good night, brother Brandon. It means a lot to me that y'all were here today. And we had a good time. So, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Not exactly sure what time tomorrow's stream's gonna end. But like I said, it'll probably be around like noon. Gotta get a haircut. Gotta go to my doctor's appointment. I'll be back after that.